I'm Davide Vitale. I'm the director for AGT Foods in the EMEA region, and I want to introduce you to our company. AGT is a global company. Headquarters is in Canada. We are a leader processor of pulses. We have 45 facilities in all the 6 key agricultural regions around the globe. We have presence in Europe, in UK, Ireland, and Spain. In 2012, we decided to invest into the ingredient platform, means to add value to simple pulses. Before 2012, we were processing, buying from the farmers and cleaning, sorting, packing the old pulses and delivering to the different countries on the world. But in 2012, we decided to invest into an ingredient platform, so to take pulses and to start to produce flours, proteins, fibers, starches out of them. Quite quickly, we developed also additional technology to deliver more functionality to the pulses. So back in 2016, we started to add the cooking technology, heat treatment processing, and in the past 2 years, we invest into extrusion lines to make pre-gel flours and texturized proteins. We also invest into make pasta, 100% from pulses, so gluten-free and high proteins, and agglomerated flours, such as coating system to replace gluten crumbs and things like that. What we do, our business is to work closely with the farmers to buy from them the raw materials. The main 4 raw materials that we transform are peas, lentils, chickpeas, and fava beans. So we take out of the field, we clean the products, we mill them and we split them into the different components, and at the end we have flours with different granulations that are granulated or very, very fine flours, fibers, starches, and proteins. We develop a unique technology to deflavor the pulse ingredients with a very natural technology. Means that we remove part of the bitterness and the green taste that the pulses naturally have. This why? Because you can use then the flour, the ingredients in a higher percentage in finished products. If you use an disease flour from peas, probably you can achieve an inclusion rate of 10, 15, maybe 20%. With our product, you can work with inclusion rate up to 100%. So to have one single component finished products. These are the products that we produce by families. We talk about high viscosity pulse flours. These are flours produced from fava bean mainly, deflavored. The starch content is above 70%, and we have still a protein content of around 13%. Then we have a full range of pulse proteins with the protein content between 55 up to 90%. As you can see, we work on pea, lentil, fava bean, chickpeas, and also a combination of them to produce texturized proteins with a protein content up to 72%. We produce a pea fiber that is 50% protein content, and then we have a different type of flours, from very fine flours to granulated to coarse to grits, and this really depends on the final application and the technology that our customers use to make their finished goods. Then we have a pea flour course that we call breadcrumb, we call veggie crumb, really, as is a brand name. These are designed to replace the breadcrumb. Texturized pulse proteins, everybody is well aware about the growing market around meat analogs. One item that is commonly used to give the feeling, the sense of ground meat are the texturized proteins. Up to a few years ago, the only products available were around soy. And now more and more companies are looking to new ingredients and new sources as pea, as faba, as lentils. We can combine the different variety of pulses. We can make single blends or single ingredient formulation, and we can also modify the texture and the strength of the granules as well as the particle size. What is interesting for all the products that we produce is that are 100% plant-based. We do not use any additives. We don't use any modification, chemical modification. Everything is naturally treated. So we are only talking about mechanical or thermal treatments. Veggie crumb, what I mentioned before, this is a 100% pea flour that has been agglomerated, so not extruded as normally breadcrumb is produced. This to give a different texture and a different oil absorption in case you go to fry the finished product. So there is a less oil absorption on the finished product. It's a very yellow and golden color, and the texture is quite good also over time once the product has been fried and kept under temperature for a certain period of time. Last is what we call veggie pasta, is our brand. This is again a 100% yellow pea flour pasta. We can produce multiple shapes. What is interesting about this product is that the color and the cooking time and the taste are very similar to what is a regular pasta. Also, if you look at the nutritional profile and we look at the protein content, fiber, etc., this is comparable to what is a durum wheat pasta. Has a very nice al dente bite, and is one of the few, if not the only one, gluten-free pasta that is suitable also for canned type of application, because it has a very good structure and texture, even if with a lot of thermal stress. Why AGT as a conclusion? Because we are a global leader in pulses. We only work and are active in pulses. As I said, we source our ingredients directly from the farmers. So we have a farm to fork approach, and we have a global presence. Then we have a lot of expertise, and we develop a lot of expertise in not only developing new ingredients, but also developing concept together with our customers when we talk about innovation, multiple usage, and a broad application, just to open up more the market, the plant-based market. So really the target is to have in every item that we normally consume just a pinch of pulses. This is our target and our goal. And of course, we, together with the customers, the ability to grow with the market and with the demand from the consumers. And I thank you for this 5 minutes time. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you. Chris, do you have any questions at all?
Yeah, thank you, David. It was very interesting, and thanks everyone for being here today, really. Just going back to an early question, it's more about the overall model. From a sustainability perspective, how is the model looking?
The model, I believe that is looking very good compared to what is our industry, because we, first of all, as I said, we source locally. We have factories at the origin in every continent. Second, we use all what is out of pulses. Second, you have to keep in mind that the pulses are a very sustainable crop because they don't need water. They are a natural fertilizer for the soil. They are a perfect rotational crop with, for example, cereal grains, because they are a natural nitrogen fixing in the soil. So the rotation with the cereal grain, for example, give to the farmer a much higher yield next year, the following year, for example. So I think that we tick all the boxes when we talk about sustainability.
Mm-hmm. And
not we as AGT, but as an industry, as pulse industry, generally speaking.
Yeah. Do you see, or do you predict any particular pulse being big in the next 12 to 24 months? I've seen fava beans coming through quite a lot. Do you see anything of a similar nature?
For sure, pea is by far still the number one globally, after soy. Fava bean is the second one that is growing a lot faster, is delivering very good functionality and light color, neutral taste, so forth. The next one that we see and where we are looking at are chickpeas. Chickpeas, because it is regularly consumed in a lot of countries around the globe. Consumers have a very nice perception of chickpea. Look at hummus, for example, in multiple countries, or there are a lot of examples of snacks based on chickpeas. So chickpea could be the next big wave, and we see that there are a lot of companies investing and promoting new type of ingredients based on chickpeas.
Great, thank you. Dan, do you have any questions? Oh, Dan, we are struggling to hear you. You're on mute, Dan.
1 second. Hello, everybody. Sorry, it's on mute. For me, it's kind of what you can offer the sort of the confectionery industry now. We've been looking at various different flours to sort of see what will be the next big sort of flour for confectionery in the sort of free from status. So I'm quite interested in sort of the chickpea element and the powders from that, and what we may be able to use in view to. So obviously we looked at rice, and I think that chickpeas offer a certain amount of creaminess as well. So when you talk about the sort of powders and stuff, it's more, for me, it's about around the sort of the free from status and obviously things like that. So with your free from status, are they all, because obviously you're all gluten free and things like that, is that all backed up with sort of parts per million and things like that? So because obviously, so yeah, so just wanted to have a little bit more of an understanding of that sort of area, really.
Honestly speaking, we do not have so much experience because there are not so many products out in the market with pulses when we talk about confectionery specifically. You're right, the chickpea are a very good ingredient, because if you, for example, if you roast the chickpea, you can have a very nutty and pleasant taste. I don't want to say comparable to nuts because it's impossible. Then I'm an Italian, I live in Piedmont, so nuts, hazelnuts for me are a master, no? But yes, chickpea for sure is one. And then there are products out of legumes, so fractions of the legumes that can be used in confectionery with interesting functionality. For example, it's not mentioned in this presentation, but we develop a product that is a natural emulsifier and foaming system, is in a liquid format, out of chickpeas. And this is very interesting because we have customers that are actively looking into that for new type of application. When we talk about vegan, free from, completely allergen-free, GMO-free, and natural.
Great. Thank you.
That's kind of from the angle I was coming at, because we're free from business, looking at. Oops, sorry.
Okay, Gerardo, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Did you finish your question, Dan?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I've got enough information, and if I do need a bit more, I can go straight back to David. That's fine, not a problem. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Just a couple of questions from my point of view. In terms of what AGT does that is unique or differentiated versus other pulse processing organizations, what is it exactly that you have that is so different? And secondly, from an end consumer point of view, veggie crumb and veggie pasta are two high volume commodity sort of end marketplaces. Where do you see the added value or the direction of travel that AGT aims to go into? I mean, you touched briefly on alternative proteins, and that's an incredibly dynamic and very energetic category at the moment. So maybe you could just expand a little bit more on where you see the future for AGT.
First of all, I reply to the first question, why AGT and what we believe to have different. The difference is really, and I don't want to mention names of other companies, of course, but the strengths that we have in the sourcing of the raw materials, and that we are one of the few that are buying from the farm, and they have the capability to transform the product in all these multiple fractions. Because, as I said, we produce flours, we produce protein concentrates that can be deflavored and not. We produce high starch flours, we produce isolates, we produce starches, and we produce all these items from 4 different top, let's say, variety of legumes. And these are the only, this doesn't mean that we are not working on other things. So that's why we believe to be different from others. And we have and this is why we also have a very good cooperation with everybody else into this business. The second, what is the view? Yes, you're right. It is the pasta and the veggie crumb could be a type of a commodity type of products. But what we did is to invest a lot in technology, and a very flexible technology. So we have a factory that is designed to produce large quantities, but with a lot of flexibility, because this is some that the global companies, as you, for example, are looking at. And the pasta is an output of this technology. So with the same line where we can eventually make texturized or puffed items, we can also produce pasta with different performances compared to regular pasta that you can find in the market. Just to say the why the pasta. What is the view as AGT? This is a big debate that we are having internally, not to understand where we want to go. First of all, we are an ingredient supplier, producer and supplier. And this is our path, and this is where we want to be and to stay, because we are the only one that are only working into pulses, with pulses. There are a lot of other companies, very large companies, well known, but they have activity also on cereal grains, potatoes or whatever it is, and not only pulses. So we wanted to improve that, and we are at the beginning of a journey, because if you look back, when I joined AGT 10 years ago, when we started this business, there were really no application of any pulses. Pea protein was just early stage, and the industry just put a lot of efforts to increase capacity and to expand the market, but without looking really at the single functionality of the single ingredients. This is where we should really focus as an ingredient supplier, and this is, I believe, will be our path. So for each specific application, to deliver an ingredient that has a specific functionality. And on this, the whole industry is very behind with this study.